Hey there, Regina Anla here, and it is time for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. This week, our theme is AI assistance, not assistance, assistance, as in helpers, right? And if you're using AI already, great. Are you using it to its capacity? Don't know about that. Could be, maybe not. I can tell you right now, I'm not using it to full capacity. This is what I want to talk about today. We don't want to actually talk about AI, but maybe about, is your brain ready for an AI assistant? So why is this important? Everybody thinks about which tool should I use, and there's all this stuff out there, and this one's coming at you, and that one's coming at you, going, use Claude, use ChatGPT, use this, use that, use Manus, use Gemini, use Meta, use Copilot. And everybody comes at you from a different angle, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just not going to use any of them. Or maybe, you want to just jump in and figure out how things work. And then you're like, well, I don't know. Did I just waste a whole bunch of time on this? I don't know. So there's a lot of things that go on in our head whenever something changes. And that's what I talk about today. We're going to talk about is your brain ready for an AI assistant? And I've got 3 little tips for you to get your brain ready for an AI assistant, because let's face it, AI is here. It's here to stay. Forget about all of the stuff that they're saying about, data centers, this, that, and the other thing. Go look up stuff like, how much water does it take to create a pound of hamburger? It's data centers, water, stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. There'll always be all kinds of stuff. So that's pre-brain stuff. Let's just get that out of the way and say, okay, AI is here to stay. And it's a really good helper if you allow it to help you. Now, a lot of us are solopreneurs. And if you are a solopreneur and you've ever hired a VA, you might already kind of know some of this, because maybe you hired a VA, a virtual assistant, a physical person, and maybe you let them go because things weren't happening quite the way you wanted them to, because they're not you. I've had employees in the past in other businesses, and I'll tell you, letting go of things is the number one. Let go of perfect, because, AI is not perfect, and it's certainly not going to be perfect when you first start out using it. Why? Because you're learning it. It's a tool. You have to learn how to ask it for what you want in the right way so you get the right results. Until you've got that down, until you're proficient at that, you might not get a perfect result, and that can be frustrating. And then you say, you know what? I don't have time to waste on this AI stuff. Not necessarily a good way to go, because it is here and it's here to help you. Change is always something that people kind of push away. Change, it's different. You're moving out of your comfort zone. You're doing something that you weren't doing before. AI is no different. So let go of that perfect. Think about it as you just hired that brand new assistant. And you know what? That assistant is ready and willing to help you out with everything that you need to get done. But you need to give it some direction. You need to give it some idea of what you want done. You want to get feedback from them and make sure that things are working right. You might have to tweak things along the way with a real virtual assistant, a real live person. AI is the same thing. AI is basically a virtual assistant that works 24/7 and costs a heck of a lot less. So the people who get the most out of AI assistants, they're the ones who stopped waiting for everything to be perfect, and they just started working with what they've got and went from there and started training so it gets better and better. So if you are using a tool and you've trained it, maybe in your voice, maybe for a task that you want done, so you've trained an AI assistant a task, maybe you've created a GPT, maybe you've created something out there, maybe you've got an AI agent working for you that you've trained, that you're working with, maybe something like CloseBot or something that you've given instructions. It only works as good as you instruct it. So let go of perfect and tweak things along the way until you get it to the way you want. So you can definitely do that. Just let go of the perfect. As solopreneurs, a lot of times we're control freaks. Let go of the control freak and let AI give you a hand. Tip number 2, stop thinking you have to figure it all out first. We go into a lot of things often, with this. I have to know all of this stuff. I have to know how to set it up. It has to be perfect. Again, back to the perfect. I have to know all about it or it won't work. Raise your hand if you've ever said, I'm going to start using AI once I figure out how to use it properly. Yeah. So the thing is that there's no perfect setup, there's no perfect tool, and there will be new tools coming in and out of this environment because AI is literally still at the early stages. And you're going to see stuff creeping up all over the place. And all of a sudden, that tool that you used to use, maybe you're a Manus user and something else comes up. Maybe you're ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. And all of a sudden, something else comes up. And you're like, wow, that's way better. Now I got to go learn that one. So just allow yourself that you don't have to have it all figured out first. Allow yourself that permission that you don't have to have it all figured out first. Just go use it and go start setting up things. Start with a simple task. What is something that you want to get off your plate this week? Maybe it's checking your emails. Maybe it's responding to emails that are, people are asking support questions all the time. And you want that first line of help so that you're not doing the tedious stuff over and over again. And you want an AI assistant to go do that first level of support for you. And then if they need you, you can kick in. Whatever it is, pick that one thing and then start looking at what tool works best for that and pick your AI assistant and start setting it up. You don't have to figure it all out at first. Just pick one thing on your to-do list right now, maybe something that you've been dreading, and maybe something that's been sitting there waiting for you to get done. In my case, it's email. And then just ask your AI assistant to help you with it. So not everything, just one thing and get started. Once you do one, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to give it this, I'm going to give it this, I'm going to give it this. And all of a sudden your AI assistant is your new best friend. So tip number 3, give yourself permission to be a beginner. I know we live in a microwave world. We want everything right now, right here, right now, in front of us, all done, ready to go. We can't even wait for a microwave these days. Have you ever put something in a microwave and, hit it for 30 seconds and went, come on already, 30 seconds. It's 30 seconds. Come on, people. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Nobody anywhere was born knowing how to use AI. Think about that for a minute. Nobody was born knowing how to use AI. You learned it, right? So the people who look like they really know what they're doing right now, all the pros that are out there, all the influencers that are out there, all of us people who are training it that you're like, wow, you know so much about that. You know what? We didn't know anything either. We went and we learned. We were beginners. At one point, we were beginners. We knew nothing. And then we started. And then we started learning. And then we learned more. And then we learned more. And then we learned more. So just because it seemed awkward and seemed new didn't stop us from learning it. We gave ourselves permission to say, okay, I don't know this yet. That's okay. Being new at something doesn't mean you're bad at it. It just means you're learning. You don't know it yet, and you're learning. So give yourself that permission to be a beginner and don't get frustrated because it's working for somebody else, but it's not working for you. Oh, this person has all their AI assistants lined up and they're all working and they're checking their email. They're sending out social media posts and they're answering emails and they're doing all this stuff. I don't understand why I can't get this done. Because you don't know it yet. That's okay. They had to go learn it too. So they went and learned it and set it up. This is where those folks who do this stuff for a living come in. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to hire somebody to help you set up your AI assistants, then you can do that too. Or you can learn and do it yourself. Most of the easy ones for stuff like checking emails and autoresponders and that kind of thing, they're pretty easy to set up. You don't have to be techie to set this stuff up. It's plain English. The setup stuff is really plain English, easy to do. Just give yourself that permission to be a beginner and understand that you just don't know it yet, and that's okay. Doesn't matter who's in front of you, who's behind you. Do not compare yourself to anybody else who's out there. You just are where you are. Just get started, right? Because every time you use it, you'll get better, and then you get better. How do you get really proficient playing the piano? You practice. Keep doing it over and over and over and over again, and before you know it, you're at Carnegie Hall on the piano in front of thousands of people. So just think of it as you're learning something new. So those are my 3 tips today to get you in the right mindset to be actually setting up these AI assistants to work for you. Because remember, really super cheap, way better than having to deal with people sometimes. I've had a lot of employees over my years and a lot of 1099s and actual employees, W-2s and 1099s that have worked for me over the years. And I'll tell you, I like this employee way better than any of them because there's no drama, there's no HR headaches, there's none of that. I just make sure I pay my $20 to ChatGPT or Claude or whoever every month, and I'm good to go. So they're nice and cheap, and they're on 24/7. They don't take vacations. They don't take days off. They're always there for you working. When you can't be there, they're there. So AI assistants and setting them up is the key these days to running a successful business. So I'm curious, are you using any AI assistants at this time? If so, let me know in the comments below. I'd be curious to know what you're using them for. Maybe for checking email, maybe for sending out social posts, maybe for responding, maybe FAQs or something like that. What are you using them for? Those are all basic things. You can actually create assistants that do really complicated things. That's a little bit more advanced, but let's get started with those simple ones. Get you going, get you in the right mind frame, and then start building from there, because you can immediately start scaling your business as soon as you free up your time to do what you do best and let AI do that tedious everyday work. So that's what I've got for you today on Tips and Tricks Tuesday. We will see you next time. Bye for now.